The Wyoming Trona boom continues with a new $6 billion mine proposed in Sweetwater County. Central Wyoming ranchers worry the federal government could use bighorn sheep to displace them. And if two giant winter storm systems collide this week, big snowstorms are possible in southern Wyoming. We'll take a look at these stories and more today from Wyoming's largest news organization. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. The backers of the latest Trona Mining project in southwest Wyoming near Green River have proposed a $5 to $6 billion investment. Cowboy State Daily's Pat Mayo says that amount is more than double a rival operator's $2.6 billion project, which was unveiled just a few weeks ago.
I talked to the Project Soda people, which is basically going to be another huge Trona mining operation down in Sweetwater County. It's going to be about a $5-6 billion investment. That's on top of the one that I did, I think, last week on Project West, which is a $2.5 billion one. So you're looking at like $9 billion in investment in Sweetwater County for Trona mining.
The makeover of Wyoming's Trona Basin is expected to reverberate across the state as housing and employment opportunities are created in the small Sweetwater County communities where much of the mining and processing is to take place. A bill that could pave the way for bighorn sheep to return to Wyoming's remote Sweetwater Rocks area passed the legislature and is headed to the governor's desk for his signature. But Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines reports that some ranchers are worried the federal government, or anti-grazing advocates, could still use the bighorns as leverage to push them out of the central Wyoming region that's prime habitat for the sheep.
The solution the Farm Bureau is still offering is that Wyoming's congressional delegation needs to carry this forward on the federal level and get some sort of assurance on the federal level that the BLM is not going to start randomly pulling people's grazing leases if there's any kind of issue whatsoever with these bighorn sheep.
Bighorn sheep can be vulnerable to disease transmitted from domestic sheep, and that has led to grazing leases being shut down in other states. The executive director for the Wyoming Republican Party announced Monday she's running for the state legislature for the seat held by veteran Cheyenne legislator Representative Bob Nicholas. Kathy Russell is considered to be much more conservative than Nicholas, according to political reporter Leo Wolfson.
She said that one of the big things she wants to address if elected is getting more rights for families and parents. She said that she believes that there does need to be change made at the legislature, and she would bring more structure and more organization to the legislature if elected, something that she thinks is lacking in that chamber.
Russell has been executive director of the state GOP since 2018 and said she has no plans to step down from this job if elected. I'll be back with more news right after this.
Every single day, AmeriCorps members and AmeriCorps Seniors volunteers are out there making a real difference in our communities. And this year, during AmeriCorps Week, something special is happening. On Tuesday, March 12th, mayors from coast to coast are coming together to honor those who serve as part of Mayor's Day for National Service. Join us in celebrating the dedication and impact of these unsung Wyoming heroes. Together, we can tackle our state and nation's challenges and build a brighter future. Learn more at servewyoming.org.
Of the 5 attempts Wyoming legislatures tried to change the state's sex offender registry this session, just one made it to Governor Mark Gordon's desk. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that the one bill that passed would require human and sex traffickers be added to the state's sex offender registry.
There were others that were, they had rules about not getting close to daycares or not working in an arcade in some circumstances. There was another one that would have removed a grace period for juvenile delinquents, because juvenile delinquents can get off the list after, I think, 10 years. But none of those other 4 made it. The only one that made it was the one adding sex and human traffickers to the list.
If Governor Gordon does not veto it, the law will become effective July 1st. And when a cold front from Canada collides with Pacific moisture over Wyoming this week, it could produce up to 6 inches of snow for parts of the state by Wednesday evening. Or there could be hardly any snow at all. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi says it all depends on timing.
There's 2 weather patterns coming in from different parts of the globe. A Pacific Ocean pattern that's carrying a lot of warm moisture, and a cold weather pattern coming in from Canada. It could mean up to 6 inches of snow in Cheyenne, Laramie, maybe as far as Rawlins and Casper and down south into Denver. It could mean just a lot of mountain snow in Denver.
Wherever the snow falls, it will fall heaviest from Wednesday night through Thursday evening. That's when meteorologist Don Day advises anyone traveling through southeast Wyoming to drive cautiously and anticipate delays. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.